just a touch away. Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. only on Bloomberg Quint.
Hello and welcome to Hot Money Technicals on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. This is a show which gets you a complete wrap of all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. I'm Darshan Mehta. Let's welcome our experts and Kunal Rambhia of The Streets, independent technical analyst in Fidai, and Brijesh Bhatia of Dealmoney Securities Private join us on the show. Thank you to all for joining me on the show. Let's get started straight with the technical. The first stock is Bajaj Finance, and that is what Kunal has been recommending. That's the stock. Let's pull up the counter, and it's a buy on RSI. Kunal, you'll have to explain the chart.
Yeah, can I just request first to get onto weekly chart of the same, please?
Okay. We'll get into the weekly chart.
So, we saw that Bajaj Finance is in clear uptrend since couple of years. Okay. Starting from, 2013, right away from 2013 till now, we saw a massive rally. From 3,000, which the stock recently made a high of, it corrected by almost 33%. Okay. Now, if you look at the recent, the trend line, the stock has taken the exact support of that trend line itself. The last candle, which is an ongoing candle, is again very bullish candle. Look at the last 3 or 4 candles. The the bottoms formation is almost at the same level. Let's move on to the daily chart of the same and have a look at the formation there. Okay. The stock was clearly in consolidation. You can see on daily chart. Yeah, just have a look at it. It's clearly in consolidation. If you plot the 200 days moving average on the same, the stock is juggling around the same level itself, clearly making higher bottoms. RSI divergence is also on the charts. So the strategy here would be to add the stock about 2400, keeping the stop loss of around 2300, expecting the stock to reach at least 2800 and the momentum to continue going forward.
So you're saying not to buy at the current market price?
No, so not to buy at the current
market. It's 2330 right now.
Right.
So you keep a buy stop loss of 2400 on the same.
Perfect. So I'll wait for a day's closing at least about 2400. Once it crosses 2400 on the higher side, keep the stop loss of 2300. Expect 2800 by the end of the next month. So is this 2400 on a closing basis or intraday basis? No, it would be on a closing basis.
So if the stock closes about 2400, that would be a buy signal for you.
Perfect. So I'm just waiting for that bullish candle to turn up, so that once it closes about 2400, that will be a bullish candle. Above that, we can add.
So if someone wants to take a position at this point of time, he should hold on.
Yeah, you should hold on, definitely.
And if 2400 is breached on the higher side, how soon before it comes to 2800?
So I'm expecting 2800 by the next expiry itself.
Okay, so that's a massive move that you're expecting in.
And about 2400, once the stock goes into higher top, higher bottom formation, I would advise to keep a trailing stop loss and carry the position and not to even book the profit at 2800. Okay. This can be a new momentum which may come.
Why 2400? What's the relevance of 2400?
Yeah, so here you can clearly see that there is a cup and handle formation. On a cup and handle formation, the breakout is always expected first, and post breakout, it is advisable to add the position.
Okay, so 2400, watch out for 2400. Thanks so much for that, Kunal. NS, what do you make of Bajaj Finance? Would you be bullish on the counter, or what's your view?
Yeah, I agree with Kunal. And what I see on a longer term chart, if you see on weekly chart, the stock has never gone below since 2012, below 50 VEMA. Usually it comes around that test and that is weekly exponential moving average. So usually it comes to 50 weekly exponential moving average. Test that area. Currently on daily chart, it is making sort of a, you can say, a triangular pattern, as you said, consolidation. That is also there, and like you can even see possibly a inverted head and shoulder pattern, which is again a bullish pattern. So yeah, I concur with him. I agree the way it is looking at. About 2400, it would shoot up like and it would give good.
At the current level, would you take any positions in the counter?
At the current level, if you want to take, I would say, matlab, have a position like space to add more at dips.
Okay.
Around 2100, that would be better.
Okay, Brijesh, what's your view on Bajaj Finance?
Yeah, even I am bullish on the Bajaj Finance. 3-4 things. As he has pointed RSI, if you look at the weekly RSI, 4 to 5 times since 2011, it has tested 35-40 zone and reversed. So stock has seen rally of around 18 to 24% on an average when RSI has been tested. And again, we are witnessing same scenario on RSI. Daily, if you look at the daily chart, it is being holding 200 days average quite strongly. And even if you look at the sector, this stock is very strongly outperforming against the whole sector. So I think yes, maybe around 2320, 2330 would be a good bet to go long, and I'm expecting around 2750.
2750. So 2750, 2800, probably even more is something that our guests are betting on Bajaj Finance. But remember, the original call is Kunal's, and he's saying buy only about 2400. That would be an ideal strategy if you want to play Bajaj Finance. The next stock that we want to talk about is Reliance Industries, and that is what Fidai is betting on. It's a RSI positive divergence. Reliance, and it has been consolidating. It's been falling for a while. You see a reversal?
Yeah, basically what we are seeing is like, RSI is giving a positive divergence. There is a double bottom around 200 DEMA. If you see this is 200 DEMA, this blue line.
Yeah.
So it is making a double bottom in, exactly at a support area. So that is best thing. Second thing is RSI when means it made a new low, Reliance, a small and the RSI has actually risen after that. So that is another good point over here. And if you see it is if you check horizontal trend line from here, like if you place it, the stock is taking support on that line also. Okay. And so it is a multiple touch points at exact around these areas.
Okay.
So, and if you check on weekly chart, can you put up a weekly chart, please?
Okay. We'll try to get up the weekly chart. But overall, when you're talking about this chart, what's the target that you're looking at?
I'll let you know. Target is something like 1080 and 1114. That is 1114. Okay. Now, if you see this chart, there is a long-term trend line. That is, I think you put a trend line from here. Actually, it is taking support exactly on that bottom.
Okay.
Okay. And if you see a long-term, I believe this stock is done. The worst is over.
Okay.
You can keep a stop loss below 1000 rupees for this probably. Okay. And you can expect 1080, 1114 could be your targets for Reliance Industries.
This is more like a short-term target that you're giving.
You can say 3 months, 3 weeks probably.
3 weeks target. And if that is crossed, what kind of targets are you?
Then you can expect the previous high.
Okay, previous high. So it's a bull.
There would be a minor resistance around 1240-ish, 1230-ish. That would be there. And then it will go to previous top. It will do the double top kind of formation.
So it's a bullish call. Thanks so much, NS. Kunal, Reliance Industries, are you bullish?
Yeah, extremely. What he tried to highlight is a perfect thing. Double bottom near to 200 days moving average itself. But my concern is just that there is a gap down opening couple of days back, and that gap was at 1140. So rightly highlighted by this guy, saying that should be the stop loss, and ideally that should be the exit point also for short-term period of time.
Okay.
Consolidation may come in, and then the rally may presume continuously.
Okay. And what about you, Brijesh?
I would go long on Reliance as well till the stock is holding 990,000 levels. Double bottom with RSI positive divergence at 200 as average, and MACD being the lowest since last 6-7 years. So definitely a long bet on Reliance.
Okay, so bullish bets coming in on Reliance Industries. It's at the crucial mark according to NS, but we'll watch out what happens with Reliance. The third stock that we want to highlight is Bata, and Brijesh has a call on Bata. Brijesh, if you can come in. It's a buy on RSI. Explain the chart.
Yeah. So if you look at these formations, the stock is clearly into double bottom formations. If you look at this average, this is nearly exactly 200 days average. Prices are made even after a dip below 200 day. Closing has been on the positive side above the average. If you look at the volumes has been very strong in this reversal momentum post 200 days average test. Another RSI again a positive, giving above the 30-35 zone reversal, and I am expecting this double bottom to play very strongly, and once it's above 950, 960, it would again accelerate at around 916, 918 levels. A strong buy. I would just keep a stop loss below these yesterday's yesterday low at 855, and expecting a target of around 1040, 1050 on the upside.
Okay, 1040, 1050. Which means another 120 rupee upside. Yeah. What's the time frame in YouTube?
I am probably looking for 5 to 7 weeks, because this generally stock market has been slightly consolidating. Stock is also consolidating, and post breakout it might accelerate. So I'm just betting for slightly higher time frame of 5 to 7 weeks.
What's the stop loss that you said?
I'm just keeping a stop loss below this yesterday low 855.
Okay. 855.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a bullish call that's coming in on Bata. Thank you so much, Brijesh. NS, Bata, what's your view? Are you bullish?
Yeah, I am also bullish on Bata. I believe that the stock is currently doing double bottom, as you rightly said, plus also it is on taking support on 200 DEMA. And if you see, since 2017 July, the stock is taking very strong support around 200 DEMA, though it tests a little bit. So in this, let's say if there is some volatility, if the stock goes down, I would prefer to even add around 820 because that would be a good area. Rather, like it would be a very good strong trend line support. So, and as he rightly said, above 960, the stock will move towards 1010, 1000, then even up to 1040 also.
Okay, so 4-digit target again coming in on Bata. Kunal, your view on Bata?
On daily chart, all arguments are perfect. On about say 935, I would think of adding the counter. Even on the weekly chart, if you can see from December 2016 till now, there is an upper trend line taken care of, and recent low is exactly same as that trend line support itself. So definitely it's a buy on dip kind of stock. The best buy would be say near to around 875 to 880 if at all it comes down to that level.
Okay, so you would buy at that level, not at this level. Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on Bata. So the first round is over. We spoke about Bajaj Finance, Reliance and Bata. We'll start with the second round, and the second round is where Kunal is betting on Federal Bank. Let's pull up the chart. It's come out. Federal Bank somehow never manages to go up. It just was the rumor, it goes down, then it comes down. But what's your trend here?
So now what you correctly highlighted is that this stock has never come out of the consolidation itself, but the fantastic chart formation is that right now it's forming a falling wedge kind of formation. Okay. Look at the RSI, it's showing positive divergence. It's more of consolidation with positive divergences. This stock, if at all manages to go above 83.5, 84 kind of mark, I would go long on this counter, keeping the stop loss of around 80 at that point of time. Okay. Expecting the stock to reach 120, that's the extreme target on the higher side.
That will probably come to the near recent term high.
Correct. Now just convert this chart on the daily. There is a good short-term formation which is happening on the chart. Okay. We'll just have a look at it.
Yeah, so that will take some time.
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the weekly chart, you can clearly see that there is a good support of the moving average.
This is a wrong chart. This is Reliance Industries.
No, on the daily chart of even Federal Bank, there was on the weekly chart of Federal Bank, there is a good support of the moving average also.
Slower.
I think we are having a little bit of technical issues, but that's fine. I'll ask my producer to just now you have it.
Will do even if you are keeping weekly chart, it's fine.
No, you got your daily chart.
No, this is weekly chart itself.
Okay, let's stick with this.
So absolutely fine. When we try to focus on the daily chart of it, here there is a triangle formation which is going on the daily chart. This consolidation is showing up triangle formation. That's a symmetrical triangle formation. Now the beauty of that chart is that after a full pullback rally, there is a consolidation which is known as a pennant formation as per technical formation. So if I look at both the charts together, weekly falling wedge near to the support of the moving average itself and pennant formation. So any trigger above 83, the stock would straight away reach 120 mark.
Okay, what's this purple line for? What's that highlighting?
Purple line is again a moving average itself. Okay. I am focusing more on this blue line, which is a longer term weekly moving average. Okay. The stock has fantastically taken support of that moving average itself as of now.
Okay, so you wouldn't buy at this level. You would buy only above 83.
This is a stock which I am waiting for the breakout to come above 83.5, 84, keeping the stop loss of say around 80 or say 75 at that point of time, and then expecting the target.
And this is on a closing basis, 80?
Absolutely, this is on a closing basis itself.
Okay, so bullish call that's coming in, but remember only after 83.5 to 84 is where Kunal will enter the stock. Before that, this trade is not applicable. Brijesh, Federal Bank, what's your view?
I would slightly avoid this stock. A couple of reasons. Stock since 2018 start haven't sustained about 200 days average. If you look at the weekly chart, since 2015 RSI haven't managed to cross 50-55 zone. Till 50-55 zone RSI is not crossed on weekly charts, and maybe on a stock side 87.5 would be a strong resistance zone. I think maybe the close above 88-89 would be the trend change level for me. So I would slightly stay cautious on Federal Bank.
Fidai, what would you make of?
Federal Bank is actually making a flag on the daily chart. It's in a lower top, lower bottom pattern. So that's how, if you can, as Kunal has mentioned, it is in that falling channel probably. What I believe is even if it goes up above 85, the target on the higher side is capped because there was a gap down over there. And probably you can see the resistance at 85, 95 around area. So there is not much of juice in the stock, seriously.
Okay, so we have diverging views that coming in on Federal Bank, but remember, What Kunal has said that he will buy the counter only above 83.5. There seems to be a little spike that's come in the last few minutes of trade. It's inching closer. Kunal, is that on a cash basis or a futures basis?
Absolutely. These charts are on cash basis.
Okay, cash basis. So if the cash is above 83.5, that's the level you would enter it. But the other two guests are not too convinced on that idea. Let's move on and talk about Balrampur Chini, and that's where Fidai has a bullish call. It's a cup and handle formation. Again, back to levels of 100. Balrampur Chini, what should one do?
Like as you have rightly said, it's a cup and handle formation here. If you see this huge cup and handle from here, okay, and after just breaking out, it gave a false breakout around here, and then it has consolidated in this range.
Okay.
Today, if you see this here, it has given a breakout out of this consolidation, which is called a flat pattern.
Okay.
And if you can put up volumes, if you see volumes are exponentially high. This stock, when it rises, when it made this high, there was huge volumes. Again, when it made a current rise, there was very exponentially high volumes. And when it fell, the volumes actually dried up. So that means the smart money is not leaving the counter. They rather would want to remove the weak hands from the stock. And if you see, like, I have a target of, you can say 120 and 145 for this stock.
Okay.
Even could be higher because, like, if you see the trough size, so when you check that trough size, it is almost 60 rupees. So it could extrapolate even to 160s.
What's the stop loss on this if someone
I would love to buy this if it dips probably, but I don't see right now because today also it is trading higher, around 2-3% higher. So on like I would prefer to buy it on a breakout then above 105.
Okay, so you'll buy it only above 105, not at this level.
And if I have to buy, then I'll buy on supports around let's say 94.
Okay, 94, 105, between that it's a no trade zone. That's the view that's coming in. Thank you so much, NS. Kunal, Balrampur Chini, what would you do?
This stock clearly broke out of the consolidation at 75, made a high of 100, retested the breakout level again and again reaching 100 mark. By any chance this stock goes above 105, it's a jump and buy kind of situation, or accumulate till 90. On the higher side, expect the target of around 130.
Okay, so again 120, 140 was what Fidai spoke about, 130, so pretty much similar levels coming in, which means a potential upside of 25-30% on the counter. Brijesh, Balrampur Chini?
Definitely a thumbs up for long. Stock has been moving out of a long consolidation, maybe a 8-9 months consolidation, and definitely a strong volumes breakout. Definitely a long for around 145 I'm expecting on the upside.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on Balrampur Chini, and the final stock from our guest at least is a stock that we want to discuss. Brijesh, let's have you up. The stock that you want to buy is Voltas, and it's a buy on RSI. We'll have to explain the chart.
Yeah.
Lots of colors though, but yeah.
Yeah, fine. So if you look at this RSI, okay, let's start from here. When RSI has dipped below this oversold zone below 30, and look at the MACD. As soon as RSI is moved about, MACD going positive cross, stock has formed major bottoms. Look at this bottom. Look at RSI again, RSI moving higher, MACD positive cross, stock has made major bottoms. Similarly, if you look here, okay, RSI has moved positive from oversold territory. Stock has, after a strong sell-off, showing sign of reversal. MACD again giving a positive crossover. So if you look at this multiple times, this is the strong RSI and MACD both giving positive crossover. Stock making, if you look at these, after a sharp fall, stock is making again higher and higher lows, and trading above this. If you look at the previous sell-off, open high, same stock has breached around those levels, 520, 518, 520.
Okay.
If I look at the weekly chart as well. Can you move to weekly chart?
Yeah, they will. It takes time, but yeah, no issues.
Okay, so if you look at this weekly chart, if this is the AB equal to CD pattern, which means that the fall from year to year is very much equal to fall from year to year. Okay, if I look at the time cycle, this has been in the fall has been into the 9 weeks, and this has been the 6 weeks. So if I look at the Fibonacci time series, the fall is 61.8%. Okay, on the time series. So when falls are very much equal and showing a sign of positive, so your candlesticks doji has been formed, which is again a bullish reversal candle. Price is breached about this high, and definitely if you look at the RSI is moving above the 30 levels again, it definitely a strong buy for me. Even if you look at the short term, if you look at the medium term, I'm expecting good upside.
It's 530 right now. What's the target and stop loss?
I'm expecting target of around 589, and and stop loss just below 500 at 498.
Okay, 498 and 590 is the target.
589.
589 is the target. Thank you so much for that, Brijesh. Fidai, what would you make of Voltas?
Well, as he pointed out, it is in a, like, I see the chart is making a low, it's made a lower flag at the bottom, though it is making lower bottoms continuously. So seriously, like, if I have to buy this stock, I would prefer to buy it somewhere where it makes a double bottom around 470-ish. Or because I feel lots of resistance on the upside, 50 DEMA, 200 DEMA plus previous major highs will all act as resistance. So there is lots of pain in this stock. Even if it goes up, it will face lots of volatility.
Okay, so that's the view. And Kunal?
So, somewhere I agree with Fidai because this stock has collapsed from 620 mark to around 470 mark. If I take a reverse retracement also of that same level, that 38.2% comes to around 530, and this stock has made the same tops of 530 since 3 days. So unless this stock again comes down to around 490 kind of levels and reverses, I would ignore this counter for time being.
Okay, so that's it. We're getting contradictory views, but that's fine. That's what the viewers want. Brijesh is bullish on Voltas, but the other two guests would wait for a correction before getting into Voltas at this point of time. But before we wrap, let's go across to Yash Upadhyay, who's telling us about a stock that the Bloomberg terminal has thrown up. Apollo Hospitals.
Apollo Hospitals, it is Darshan.
First sell of the day, yeah.
Absolutely. So the trender indicator, the proprietary Bloomberg indicator, that is very close. In fact, it is almost the closing price is as of right now below the trender indicator, and that is suggesting a sell call on it. So if you look at the charts, the stock has been trading in a narrow range of 1,000 to 1,150, and what happened yesterday is that it saw a huge amount of volatility, almost 90 rupees from the top, and it closed lower. And today also the stock is coming under some selling pressure. So if the stock closes today as of Friday below the trender indicator, which is at about 1,090, if I'm not wrong, then it would indicate some further selling pressure, and the stock could come off and could fall all the way up to almost 8 to 10% is what the hit rate suggests for trender indicator.
Okay, so 1090. Thanks so much for that, Yash. Apollo Hospitals, Kunal.
So 1080 is 200 days moving average, and the stock has somehow managed to take care of that support. From March 2016 till now, the stock is in clear down channel. So I'm waiting for that breakout to come on the higher side. Rather than shorting at this level, I would wait and wait for the positive breakout, because the indicators are suggesting some kind of bullish sentiments on a longer term time frame.
Okay, so it's a bullish call that's coming in. Fidai, what do you make of this?
Like Upadhyay, as he pointed out, it's absolutely he's right on an extreme short term time frame, which is like you can say 1 to 2 weeks, and the stock could correct probably, and it could do something like 1,010, 1,020 on the downside. If it is trading below, you can say 1,080. So that could be the probability, very high probability.
Okay, and what about you, Brijesh?
For shorter time frame, I would look for shorts, but for target of around not more than 1,020, 1,030. If you look at the RSI, it's been again dipping from 50 zone, which has been multiple times we have seen this. MACD giving negative crossover again. So definitely a short term short biased.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on Apollo Hospitals. But before we end, one crucial question we'll ask our guests. So, Brijesh, I'll start with you. Are we going below the 10,000 mark on the Nifty? Does that show on your charts?
Yeah, probably yes, a test below 10,000. Maybe 997 to 997.
See a bounce back to some level?
Towards 171 would be the crucial for me. Till they close, it's not closing about 10,171. I would slightly stay on the negative bias.
Okay, the Nifty has managed to recover significantly, Fidai. Below 10,000 possible?
Worst case scenario right now for this correction would be 9,950.
Okay.
If it goes below that, then we are in serious trouble, because that would mean lower top, lower bottom on a weekly chart. And on the upside, I believe we can have a retest of 10,700.
Okay, 10,700. What about you, Kunal?
So right now it's trading near to the high of the day. If the closing comes near high of the day, it would be a bullish sign on the candlestick formation, expecting 10,300.
Okay.
But closing near low, definitely we are heading for 9950 and even.
Can we go or no? That's what I'm asking.
So closing near low, yes, definitely yes.
Okay, so that's a diplomatic answer what Kunal gave it, but we'll leave it at that. But with that, it's a wrap on today's Hot Money Technical. Brijesh, Kunal and Fidai, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Ask BQ comes up next. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.
Good news, guys.